What up, guys? We got the good old 6 o'clock no cooling service call, and I already know what the problem is. The belt's loose. You can hear that. Drain trap's broke, and I know these locations all too well. And just a simple hand over the condenser. This one's not actually that bad, but they're recirculating, and coils are dirty. So both of them calling for cooling. It's about 80 in the store. They're set to 70. So before I can do much of anything, I'm gonna have to clean the coils. So we'll one at a time here. It's gonna be a long night. Alright, so this is the first guy. I can see I've got both compressors running. The belt's gonna have to be changed on that one, or at least tightened. I'll have to fix the drains. It's surprising they're not leaking water everywhere. This one's not draining nearly as much because they got a compressor already disabled. So I'm sure the compressor's been written up previously by somebody else. They probably tripped the breaker and they were out on a service call. Probably should have cleaned the coils at that time, but you know, it is what it is. So let's get a hose up here. I'm not worried about the drain traps right now. I'll fix them later. Let's get a hose up. We'll start with this guy since both circuits are running. Get it good and clean, and then go from there. Well, this just made my night. I was getting ready to drop my hose on the side where the water is, and I see this guy. Oh yeah, service guy's best friend, water on the roof. Just got everything ready so we can keep it off minimal time. As you can see, if you're seeing this on the outside, I can guarantee there's buildup inside. So let's get the power off and pop the top and get in here and clean it. If we have good water pressure, that's a plus. So we're going to see inside coil in, outside coil out first, and then we'll go back and forth. You see I'm getting some crap out of it. Really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be inside, but the one compressor being down is probably causing a big issue. Plus we've hit 100-degree weather with like 60% humidity, so it's been kind of ridiculous. That's really going to affect when you got a little bit of stuff in this coil, or a lot of bit. There's a good amount inside here too. So we're going to rinse it quickly, but make sure it's clean. Get our drain line and our belt adjusted, and then we'll cycle this guy back on, move to the other one. There's all that good stuff coming out of there. So that's why our belt's squealing. It's worn and cracked too, but we're gonna recommend a new belt. We're gonna crank this bolts down, everything else is loose. Drive that motor down, get the belts tightened up. So before we turn it back on, we half-ass secured our cap tubes and our wires here, so nothing's gonna rub. Carrier can't do it for you, so you gotta do it for them. Kick it back on. The belt already is not squeaking, sounds better. The filters were clean. I flushed the drain pan. I'm gonna worry about that after a while. I'm gonna go clean this guy. So nothing else out of the ordinary in here. Everything looks okay. As per the usual, the humidistat has been disabled. First thing the maintenance guys do when they see it not working is disable the humidistat, which doesn't really change anything because it's usually a dirty coil or something else that's going on. But we're just going to write it up. I'm going to leave it as is now because they're going to need as much cooling as they can get because that's got a compressor down. So the one thing they forget to do is disable the fan cycle control because they just don't know. But I got a wet coil, so my fans are running slow right now. I can already feel the air's better, but we'll let it come to full speed. It shouldn't take too long to get there, and then we'll make sure it feels good again. I'm gonna go get some water before I start on that guy. It's fucking hot. Then we make sure we flush our trap. I got a clean out tee in, ready to go. And if I can turn my damn hose off, come on. Look at that. Oh yeah, beautiful. Our fans are ramped up to full speed now, and I got good airflow. I'm happy with this one. I got some water in me. I'm gonna clean one more. I said the fans felt better on this one, but this coil looks much worse. So, anyways, maybe my hands are failing me. It's getting hot. I'm delusional at this point, so get it split and cleaned. It's dirty down inside there too. We got more rubbing cap tubes. Imagine that. Thank you, Carrier. I don't know what you got to do to get Carrier to secure a damn cap tube. Shit pisses me off. Let's get this guy clean and fix the drain on this. We'll adjust the belt if we need to, and we'll have as much air as they're going to have until we'll check on this compressor. I'm sure it was written up by somebody at some point, and then go from there. So I checked the control panel. Contactors need replaced, but their maintenance guys have had a hold of this because I didn't notice at first. This thing's not even secured. It's gonna get wet with rain or whatever, bouncing around in here and probably short out eventually. I got too much respect for our guys to believe they'd have left it like that. So we're at least gonna tape it up. We'll wire tie it up here or something. We'll get our wires wire tied, coils clean finally, and then we're gonna come over here and try to mess with this drain because this is gonna be a little more difficult. I got nothing to grab onto, so let's see what I can do with that. I have seen it all now. Tied my wires up. They were kind of tied, but what were they tied with? Not a wire tie, but a brazen rod. That is nice. Didn't work very well either. Oh, I love maintenance, guys. Every panel is like a whole new adventure. We got insulation falling. Everything rubbing back there. This belt is worn down to nothing. This one looks better, so I'm gonna get it on there and get it adjusted, and we'll turn this guy back on. So just kicked it back in. I wonder my coil was so dirty. They bypassed the motor master. These are the wires here. I'm gonna have to dig in and see how they wired it, but they wired it wrong because the fans are running and I ain't got no cooling coil. So let me look at this for a second. Oh, hey, it never turned off. It's too hot, my phone's acting up. They wired straight to the contactor. And actually, that's the blower contactor. Genius. But all they had to do was plug it in right there where the condenser fan relay is that feeds power to the motor master. So we're going to do that and then move on to what I was trying to do. So typically your relay feeds down to the motor master, back out of the motor master to your two spade terminals here on your condenser fan. So all you got to do is basically, if I can do it with one hand, I can't. Connections are tight. Pull that wire with both your condenser fans and plug it on to your relay, and then they'll operate like they're supposed to. So now our fans don't run when our blower runs. And this is drawing awful strong, and I can feel it, and that insulation was pulled down. It makes me think the returns might be plugged down below or something. That's a problem for another day. Well, we're gonna write all this up, but let's try to get this drain line fixed. See if I got enough PVC to do this. See if I can get that fitting out of there. So, you know how y'all deal with this, but I was able to knock me a little notch in there, and then I was able to get it to turn a little bit. So it's moving, so slowly but surely I'll get that out of there. If nothing else, cut that notch a little further and just pull the whole damn thing out. Alright guys, so I've had about enough. I don't have enough fittings, so that's what they're getting for now. It's gonna drain right there. I had to chop the drain line up to use what they had. We are running over here, at least at one stage. Fans wired right. They couldn't get the fans to run off of the relay because they pulled Y1 wire, which is what energizes the fan relay. So that's probably why they went to the blower motor, which was dumb anyways, but they didn't know what they were doing. So we went ahead, I pulled the coil voltage on the contactor, plugged Y1 back on. Last thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get a jumper wire and jump Y1 and Y2 so it runs no matter what. And then I'm getting the hell out of here. So leave the tray better than you found it, guys. I'll see y'all next time.